Hello students, let's have the numericals of the chapter 13 AC circuits. Let's see the important formulas of the chapter 13 AC circuits that will be used to solve the numericals. First of all, as we know that the alternating EMF E is given as E0 sin omega t, where E0 is the peak value of the alternating EMF there, or we can say it is the maximum value of the alternating EMF in either a direction. Then alternating current I is given as I0 sin omega t plus alpha, where alpha represents the phase difference between the current I and the EMF, and I0 is said to be a peak value of the current. Next we have average value of the current, which is to be given as IF is equal to 0.637 I0. We can say it is the relationship between the average current and the peak value of the current, as average current is to be given as IAV and peak value of the current is given as I0. So here we can say that the average value of the current IAV is equal to 0.637 I0. Similarly, we can give average value of EMF EAV, which is equal to 0.637 E0, where E0 is the peak value of the EMF there. Next we have RMS value of the induced EMF, which is to be denoted as E RMS, which is to be given as E0 upon square root 2. And in the same way, the RMS value of the induced current is also to be given as IRMS, which is equal to I0 upon square root 2. Next, the heat produced by the sinusoidally varying AC over a complete cycle is given as H is equal to R into RMS value of the current, and its square we have to take, and it is to be multiplied with 2 pi by omega. So here we can give the formula as H is equal to R into I RMS square into 2 pi by omega. This is the value of the heat produced by a sinusoidally varying AC over a complete cycle. The next formula we can give when we are using a purely inductive circuit. So for a pure inductor circuit, the value of the current is to be given as I0 sin omega t minus pi by 2. And over here we are getting the value of the inductive reactance, which is to be denoted as XL, and the value of the XL is to be given by using the formula ERMS upon IRMS. That is, we have to take the RMS value of the EMF and current, and hence we have to take its ratio. And also the inductive reactance we are getting as omega L, which is equal to 2 pi FL, where F is the frequency of the AC supply. For a purely capacitive circuit, we are having the current I as I0 sin omega t plus pi by 2, and here we are getting the capacitive reactance, which is to be denoted as XC, and again we have to take the ratio of ERMS to the IRMS. So ERMS upon IRMS gives the value of the capacitive reactance, and value of XC is also is equal to 1 upon omega C, which is also is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FC. Next, for the impedance, over here in the LCR circuit, we are having the value of Z is equal to ERMS upon IRMS, which is further is equal to square root of R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. And if we are having a circuit consisting of a conductor and a resistance only, then it is said to be the LR circuit, And for this LR circuit, the value of the impedance Z is given as square root of R square plus XL the square there. Similarly, when we are having the circuit consisting of capacitor and resistor only, which is said to be the CR circuit. So, in the CR circuit, the value of the impedance Z is given as square root of R square plus XC square. Then, we can determine the phase difference between XL, XC and R there, which is to be given as phi is equal to tan inverse XL minus XC upon R, as well as the resonance frequency FR is to be given by the equation 1 upon 2 pi square root LC. So, these are the formulas that we will use to solve the numericals of this chapter, that is chapter 13 AC circuits. The next unsolved numerical from the textbook, question number 20 is, find the time required for a 50 Hertz alternating current to change its value from 0 to the RMS value. Here we have to find out how much time is required when a frequency is given as 50 Hertz for the alternating current when its value is changes from 0 to the RMS value. Let's see the solution. First of all, we have to write down the data as frequency f is given 50 Hertz, and we know that IRMS is nothing but is equal to I0 upon square root 2. And we have to determine the required time, that is t. Formula we are going to use as I is equal to I0 sin omega t. Now, by using the formula, as I is I0 sin omega t, as well as we know that the I RMS is I0 upon square root 2. So, here we can write I is equal to I0 sin omega t as I0 upon square root 2 is equal to I0 sin omega is 2 pi f. So, 2 pi into f is 50 into t. Then I0 gets cancelled. Here it is remaining with 1 upon square root 2 is equal to sin 100 pi t. Then here we can write this 1 upon root 2 is nothing but the value of the sin pi by 4. So, the next step we can write as sin pi by 4 is equal to sin 100 pi t there, and hence on comparing we get that 100 pi t is nothing but is equal to pi upon 4 there. So, here on the calculation, as pi get cancelled and t becomes is equal to 1 upon 400. So, we can say that this 1 upon 400 is nothing but 0.25 into 10 raised to minus 2, which is further written as 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 3 second. That means the final answer we can give as the time required for the alternating current to change its value from 0 to RMS is 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 3 second. The next unsolved numerical from the textbook, question number 21 is, calculate the value of capacity in picofarad which will make 101.4 microhenry inductance to oscillate with frequency of 1 megahertz. We have to determine the capacity in picofarad, and it is given that the value of the inductance is 101.4 microhenry, and here it is given that the frequency is given as 1 megahertz. Let's see the solution. First of all, it is given the inductance L is 101.4 microhenry. So, it is to be converting into Henry by multiplying 10 raised to minus 6. So, it becomes L is equal to 101.4 into 10 raised to minus 6 Henry. Frequency is given 1 megahertz, which is equal to 10 raised to 6 hertz. Megahertz is to be converting into hertz by multiplying 10 raised to 6. And we have to determine the value of the capacity, that is the capacitance C. Formula we are going to use, F is equal to 1 upon 2 pi square root L C. As by using this formula, F is equal to 1 upon 2 pi square root L C, the value of L is given, F is given, so we can determine the value of C there. So to calculate the value of C, first of all we are taking the squaring on both the sides. So it is like F square is equal to 1 upon 4 pi square into LC. And hence we can write the value for C as 1 upon 4 pi square L into F square. After that, let's substitute the value 1 upon 4 into pi square is 3.142 into 3.142. L is given 1.01.4 into 10 raised to minus 6 into F square is there. The value of F is 10 raised to 6, so its square will be 10 raised to 12. So here we have to substitute the values, and after that we have to solve it by using the log calculation. So out of the bracket we are supposed to write down anti-log, and in the bracket we have to take the log of 10 raised to 6, and all other factors are there in the denominator. So we have to subtract the log values of 4, 3.14 square and 101.4. So next we have to write minus log 4 minus 2 log 3.142, as this 3.142 square when we are applying the log over here. So here we have to use the formula like log a raised to n, which is equal to n into log a. So n is 2 over here and a is 3.142, so it becomes 2 log 3.142. Then minus log 101.4, and out of the bracket 10 raised to minus 12 we are writing as it is. Then in the next step we are supposed to write down the values of the log there. So log 10 raised to 6 is to be written as 6 minus log 4 is 0.602 minus 2 log 3.142 is to be written as 2 into log 3.142 is 0.4972. Then minus log of 101.4 is 2.0060. So in the bracket we are supposed to write down the values of the log there, and out of the bracket we have to write down the anti-log of this bracket we are supposed to take into 10 raised to minus 12. Then in the next step we are supposed to calculate this subtraction and addition, and hence we are getting the value of the bracket as 2.3976. So the next step is to be written as anti-log 2.3976 into 10 raised to minus 12. Then we have to take the anti-log of 2.3976, which would be 2.498 into 10 raised to 2. And 10 raised to minus 12 we are supposed to multiply with it. Then when we are calculated, so we are getting the value as 249.8 into 10 raised to minus 12 farad, and this 10 raised to minus 12 is nothing but we can express as pico. So here the value of the capacitance we are getting as 249.8 picofarad, and finally we can give our answer. The capacitance is 249.8 picofarad. The next unsolved example from the textbook, question number 22 is: a 10 microfarad capacitor is charged to a 25 volt of potential. The battery is disconnected and a pure 100 millihenry coil is connected across the capacitor. so that LC oscillations are set up. Calculate the maximum current in the coil. Over here the value of the capacitor is given 10 microfarad, which is charged to a 25 volt, and when the battery is to be disconnected and a pure 100 millihenry coil is to be connected across the capacitor. So here LC oscillations are set up there and we have to calculate the maximum current in the coil. Let's see the solution. First of all, we have to write down the data. The capacitance C is given as 10 microfarad, which is to be converting into farad by multiplying 10 raised to minus 6. And this 10 raised to minus 6 we are multiplying with 10, so it becomes 10 raised to minus 5. So the value of C we can write as 10 raised to minus 5 farad. V potential is given as 25 volt and inductance L is given as 100 millihenry, where this millihenry is to be converting into Henry by multiplying 10 raised to minus 3. So this 10 raised to minus 3 is to be multiplied with 100, which gives us the value 10 raised to minus 1. So the value of L we are getting as 10 raised to minus 1 Henry. We have to calculate the maximum current in the coil, and hence over here we are supposed to use the formula, that is energy stored in the electric field is given as half Q0 square upon C, where further it is to be written as half CV square, and the next formula is given, the energy stored in the magnetic field UB is half Li square. From the energy conservation, the energy stored in the capacitor is equal to energy stored in the inductor. So over here we can say that UE is equal to UB, and hence half CV square is equal to half Li square. Half get cancelled and I square, after rearranging the equation we can write as CV square upon L. Now as we have to calculate the value of maximum current I in the coil, so we have to take the square root on both the sides. So I square, its square root will be I, and CV square upon L, its square root will be square root of CV square upon L. So we can say I is equal to square root of CV square upon L. After this we have to substitute the values. C is 10 raised to minus 5 farad into V square is there, as V is 25, its square, upon L. L we are having now 10 raised to minus 1 Henry. So here we have to substitute the values and we have to calculate it. So 10 raised to minus 5 upon 10 raised to minus 1. So this 10 raised to minus 1 in the numerator becomes 10 raised to 1. So this 10 raised to 1 into 10 raised to minus 5 will be 10 raised to minus 4 into 25 square. So it is to be written in the square root. So we have to take the square root of this 25 square into 10 raised to minus 4 there. Square root of 25 square will be 25 and square root of 10 raised to minus 4 will be 10 raised to minus 2. 25 into 10 raised to minus 2 would be 0.25 ampere there. So finally we can write down our answer. The maximum current in the coil I is 0.25 ampere. Then the next unsolved numerical from the textbook, question number 23 is, a 100 microfarad capacitor is charged with a 50 volt source supply. Then source supply is removed and the capacitor is connected across an inductance, as a result of which 5 ampere current flows through the inductance. Calculate the value of the inductance. Now here The value of the capacitor is given 100 microfarad, which is charged with a 50 volt source supply. When the source supply is removed and the charged capacitor is connected across the inductance, so it gives the current is to be flowing of 5 ampere through the inductance, and hence we have to calculate the value of inductance there. Let's see the solution. As first of all, we have to write down the data. The capacitance is given 100 microfarad, which is to be converting into farad by multiplying 10 raised to minus 6, and this 10 raised to minus 6 is to be multiplied with 100, will give the result as 10 raised to minus 4. So, the value of C we can write as 10 raised to minus 4 farad. Potential V is given as 50 volt and current I is given as 5 ampere, and we have to find out the value of the inductance L. The formula we are going to use, the energy is stored in the electric field or in the capacitor as half Q0 square upon C, which is further written as half CV square. And the second formula is given, energy is stored in the magnetic field or in the inductor, is given as half Li square. And by using the conservation of energy, energy stored in the capacitor is equal to energy stored in the inductor. That means UE is equal to UB, and hence we can say that half CV square is equal to half Li square. So, we can write half Li square is equal to half CV square, as half get cancel, as we have to calculate the value of L there. So, after rearranging the equation, L is equal to CV square upon I square. Then in the next step, we have to substitute the values, as C is 10 raised to minus 4 farad into V square is there. V is 50, so we have to take its square, 50 square upon I square is there. I is given 5, so here we have to write I square as 5 square. So, L is to be written as 10 raised to minus 4 into 50 square upon 5 square. Then we have to calculate it, 10 raised to minus 4 into, we can say this 50 square is nothing but 2500, and 2500, that means we can write it as 25 into 100. That means 5 square into 10 raised to 2 divided by 5 square. So, this 5 square get cancelled, remaining is 10 raised to minus 4 into 10 raised to 2, which give the result as 10 raised to minus 2, which is to be written as 0.01. So, the value of L inductance we are getting as 0.01 Henry. And finally, we can give our answer as the value of the inductance is 0.01 Henry. So, students, you have to practice and solve all the numericals. Thank you.